GraphicAlc is suitable for modeling and solving design challenges involving motion. Uh, Here you will see the facilities and techniques. I think the real lesson here would be you have to master the four-bar link mechanism because that comes in as in need as a tool that is very commonly uh, applied to define different type of motions and mechanisms. So to create a four-bar link, it's pretty straightforward. You start with a driver, then you just sketch the connecting link, and then this is what's going to be driven. So I always start, I keep the polarity, so I start these two links from the mount points or the swivel points, so I will just fix it here, and I will fix this here. Notice an arrow, so these are lines or start points are at the points where they're mounted. Just a hygiene because it's easier to use the length constraint. Then you can of course work in any manner that you wish, but as your expertise develops with constraining, then you can work in any way you want. And this, you have to keep this in mind because if you import geometry into GraphicAlc using the DXF translator, then you have to make sure that the polarity of the lines are in the right order, because in the CAD system there is really no concept of a polarity of a line. Anyway, so first thing you can do is allocate a length constraint to this, and let's make it 20 millimeters long. I always use the length constraint, although it's possible not to just to allocate the length right on the value bar, but there are specific situations when it may not work. So just follow the hygiene, and I'm going to connect it to the end of this line, and then here I'll give it a length constraint, let's say 45 millimeters, and then I will give this a length constraint, let's say 40 millimeters. Then to synthesize the link, I will constrain this to the end of this line and constrain this to the end of this line. So the link is synthesized right now. Let's say this is the end effector, so make it let's say it is I'm going to just pull this out a little bit to get my perpendicular constraint. I've got this software minimized to keep the video size small. So now this is a 4-bar link. It can be actuated. So you can then set a value generator. Let's say we call it driver, and you can give a start value. Let's say we're going to move it from 30 degrees in 1 degree increment, and number of iterations we can put, let's say 30. And these are the end effects. You know what these mean from your previous lessons. So what I'll do is have the angle of this driver controlled by the value generator, so you have the motion that you need. I can close it right now. And you can go single step or continuous motion. Press the control key in your keyboard, Control A. Puts it in single step. You'll see iteration pending coming on. Each time you press the A key, it will single step once. If you press Control B, it'll start the animation again. The other thing is when you're in the single step mode, if you click on Reset Value Generators, it takes it to the home position. You can also create a slider mechanism. For example, I want this to drive this link. So here it's specific situation where the length constraint has to be given directly to the line using the value bar. The drop point will not work here because that will be over constraining the line, because I'm going to make that line slide. I'm going to make this point slide on this line here. The other thing you can do, of course, is bring it to the home position, and you can select any point in the mechanism and say trace. So enter the number of iterations you want to trace, and it creates a trace of the motion envelope. It tells you also how